Governor, what do you think of the field?
Well, as always, it's a action-packed field. There's the typical favorites. Of course, your 1 and 2 seeds that everybody's seen at the top of the polls probably the last 30 days or so. But the hard part in trying to pick who's going to win is there's going to be teams that are hot right now. They're going to make runs. Very few people would have expected a Butler-UConn final last year, and very few people expected VCU in the Final Four. So there's going to be teams that are going to catch on, and there's going to be a lot of upsets.
Well, I saw you have Harvard over Vanderbilt.
They're smarter.
That's what I was going to say. Vanderbilt is the Harvard of the South, but you're picking the Harvard of the North to pick that game. South Florida over Temple and South Florida over Michigan. You like those Florida teams?
I have to be honest. I'm a little bit biased because the team that I watch the most, of course, is my alma mater, Notre Dame. And so I've seen some of these teams play, and I've gauged a little bit of how they played against Notre Dame. And South Florida gave them everything they could handle in the Big East tournament. They're playing well at the right time.
St. Mary's over Kansas. St. Mary's first beating Purdue, then beating Kansas. Governor, let me ask you this. Governor, what's the matter with Kansas?
I've lived in Kansas for a while. I love Kansas.
Okay.
They obviously showed they were a little vulnerable last year, losing to those great VCU Rams down the stretch. They're a very, very good basketball team. But when you're picking, there's going to be a couple of these Hail Mary upsets, and you got to figure out which ones are going to be. I'm just kind of feeling St. Mary's is one of those teams.
And I noticed that, of course, you have Virginia over Florida in the first round. You have VCU beating Wichita State and Indiana.
I do.
A little hometown flavor there.
I do. I've seen VCU play a couple times this year, and I've got great confidence in Coach Shaka Smart. As much of a giant killer as VCU was last year, I just think Kentucky's got it all going at the right time this year. But I like VCU to upset Indiana. I've got to pick some long shots, and I got to stick with my Fighting Irish as long as I can. I just think if they actually are able to beat Duke, they're going to have a tough run against Baylor. So I'll get them to the second round.
Yeah, Baylor's a real team.
And they're a real team.
Can't argue there, yeah.
Who's this guy? Are we going to be able to put him in?
I think he's got some eligibility left, doesn't he?
He does, because he's never played. Not well, anyway.
Looks pretty good there.